What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Dynasty League Football. I am your host today, Justin, and we are talking through 5 moves to make now that we have finished week 1 of the NFL season. We're heading into week 2. We have stats, we have data, we have good, bad, terrible performances. We have it all, and that means we can start creating some actionable items out of week 1, right? Obviously, we don't want to overreact. We also don't want to underreact. So bear with me here. We got 5 moves. First one on the list, it is add Kyle Phillips. Now, this is not the rookie wide receiver many of you, most of you, probably expected to lead the Titans in targets in week 1. But here he is. He's currently rostered in 58% of leagues, in Dynasty leagues over on Sleeper, and he leaves week 1 with 9 targets, a 27% target share, and on top of all of that, he only played 46% of snaps, and he was targeted on 43% of those routes that he ran. That's pretty damn impressive, especially when you're going up against, Treylon Burks, Robert Woods, that should, or we all think, should have commanded probably more targets. Kyle Phillips established himself as, maybe not the true one. I'm not going to go that far, especially for a rookie slot wide receiver, right? Like that's not realistic. But he did prove he's going to have relevant fantasy weeks, and especially in Dynasty, right? If you're, especially a deep Dynasty league, Kyle Phillips is going to have flex value, right? Again, is it weekly? No. In a pinch, I'm happy to throw him in there. And again, finding guys like him on waivers is typically rare, right? You're not finding guys that pick up 9 targets in their first career game on waivers. It just doesn't happen too often. So if you're in one of those leagues that he is available, he's a priority add this week. The next move to make, and this one is a little bit of redraft, there's a little bit of Dynasty. It is bench Mike Gesicki in Dynasty. It is cut Mike Gesicki in redraft. So again, I'm sure you're playing redraft. Move on from Mike Gesicki. Don't deal with it. The reason we're only benching and not cutting him in Dynasty is he's a free agent after this year. And that means he hopefully finds an offense that utilizes him in a more fantasy-friendly way. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, it is Mike Gesicki running 41% of routes in week 1. He was blocking the majority of the time. He played fewer snaps than Durham Smythe. And again, he played 42% of snaps only. It's a nightmare. This is the exact role we wanted him to avoid, right? He's not a good blocker. He has never been a good blocker. So in this scheme, that's why Durham Smythe is seeing more snaps, right? If you put Gesicki in, he's not a great blocker, it kind of limits what your offense can do when he's on the field. So if he's not going to be running routes and he's going to be a bad blocker, his snaps are going to fall and you just can't play him. Again, if it's redraft, cut him, move on. Not worth it. You don't get any value for what he maybe does next season. Dynasty, just bench him for now. Our next move to make, it is add Jaylen Warren. Now, if you're not familiar with Jaylen Warren, I don't blame you. Right, obviously, the undrafted running back out of Oklahoma State is not a household name by any stretch of the imagination, but he is the direct handcuff to Najee Harris. Najee Harris obviously gets hurt. We don't know the severity yet. There's things on Twitter from no time to 6 weeks to 8 weeks. And again, I'm recording this Monday afternoon, so we have no clarity. However, he's rostered in 64% of Dynasty leagues on Sleeper right now, which means he is out there. He is available in plenty of leagues, right? He's not available in the majority, but most leagues that aren't crazy deep, Jaylen Warren's going to be available. The reason it's interesting, the reason it matters, like I said, Najee Harris is hurt, and Jaylen Warren was the only running back to see snaps or touches once Najee went out. He is the clear-cut handcuff. Now, does this mean he steps into the Najee Harris role and he's going to be a volume freak? Probably not, right? I mean, that just doesn't make a ton of sense. But Benny Snell, McFarland will probably get a little bit of run. But Warren appears to be the 1A in this offense. He'll be, again, along with Kyle Phillips, probably 2 of the bigger ads in Dynasty leagues this week. Our next set of moves here, it is kick the tires on Breece Hall and Kyle Pitts. People freak out. People panic, especially with week 1 of the NFL season. Should you be worried about Kyle Pitts or Breece Hall because they didn't have great performances? No, not at all. That's the reason, again, I'm going to see if somebody's panicking, see if somebody's making the cardinal sin of living and dying by week 1, especially in a Dynasty league. If Kyle Pitts or Breece Hall are even remotely available, if I can give up 2 firsts in 2023 for either, I'm probably going to do it, right? I'm not concerned about what we saw in week 1. Obviously, Kyle Pitts puts up a 22% target share, doesn't really do anything with it. That's fine. It's still Kyle Pitts. We know what he is. We know what his rookie season was, right? That type of production is not a fluke. Even with Mariota, he's going to see targets. He's going to perform. Do not overreact, obviously. Breece Hall, 45% of snaps, 10 targets, outproduced, out-targeted, out-touched, or excuse me, not out-targeted, just out-touched by Michael Carter. Yeah, duh. This is what we basically all anticipated. Nobody was drafting Breece Hall as the 101 with the expectation of Michael Carter disappears and he's gone forever. No, this was always going to be a split early. We knew this. Maybe somebody didn't, and now they're concerned that Michael Carter's the guy, right? You get these overreactions, especially in newer Dynasty leagues. Just go get Hall. Go trade for him. Give up whatever it is to get him. I don't really care. Go trade for Breece Hall. Redraft. You probably got to wait a couple more weeks, so maybe don't go and trade for him right away. Wait for another down week. Let that value sink further. But Dynasty, start kicking the tires. If he's there, if he's available, just go and get him now. And to close us out, we have a super flex move, and it is trade away Carson Wentz. He had a great fantasy day, right? He looks solid. This is what he does occasionally, especially against bad teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Carson Wentz is not good. We know that. We know what he is at this point in his NFL career. If you can go and get 2 seconds for him, again, we're talking Superflex. If you can go and get 2 seconds for him, great. If you can take Carson Wentz and a second and turn him into Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz in a second and turn it into Dak Prescott, who's now hurt, right? A good buy low opportunity. That's a move you have to make. Those guys are solidified. We know they are good. We know what they bring to the table for fantasy. Carson Wentz is not that. He's not even guaranteed to be a starter past this season. If someone is buying in thinking Rivera unlocked him, right? Rivera fixed Carson Wentz. Get rid of him. Move on. Just get out. Get out right now while you can. It's not worth it. Trade him. I'll even take a second and a third for him. I know some other people on Twitter have said the same thing. John Bosch has said that as well, and I agree. I think that's a smart move to make. So again, Carson Wentz, look good. Don't care. Trade him away. All right, guys, that is all we have for you. Again, thank you for watching. If you like what we're doing here at DLF, subscribe, like the video. Questions, comments, drop it all down below. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.